From 5 News, I'm meteorologist Stephen Elmore. This is your 5+ extended forecast. Cold front came through Sunday night going into Monday, and it got a lot more comfortable outside. Daytime highs only reaching up into the upper 70s, low 80s. What's also changing is that we're going to see some cooler mornings over the next several days. Temperatures only starting off into those low to mid 40s across northwest Arkansas, across the river valley. More than likely, we'll see those upper 40s and low 50s outside. More burn bans added for today. Sebastian County added to that list. Now all of northwest Arkansas, most of the river valley is underneath that burn ban list. Also from the Arkansas Forestry Commission today, Scott County was added to that high risk for wildfire danger. Now all of northwest Arkansas and the river valley is underneath that high risk, at least until we see some significant rainfall back into the forecast. Right now, it doesn't look like we're going to see anytime soon. Also, in less than 24 hours, Hurricane Milton has gone from a Category 1 hurricane just yesterday to now a Category 5 hurricane that so far has produced wind gusts up to near 175 miles per hour. It is expected to make landfall on the west coast of Florida later on this week, as only a Category 3 or 4 hurricane still considered a major hurricane coming for Florida once again. Morning temperatures heading into tomorrow morning, again, a bit brisk outside, a bit crisp outside. Temperatures will start off into those low to mid 40s across northwest Arkansas, across the river valley into those upper 40s and low 50s. So you might need that light jacket as you head out the door. Daytime highs pretty similar to what we're going to see for today, up into those upper 70s across northwest Arkansas. Winds still coming down from the northeast across the river valley, reaching up into those low 80s. It's not only the cooler temperatures that we're seeing, but also much lower in the way of humidity. Those dew point values only reaching up into the upper 30s and low 40s. So while you think lower humidity, of course, that's great outside. It's going to feel amazing. And yes, that's true. But the problem is that's also increasing our wildfire danger. The combination of some stronger winds along with that cold front, lower dew point values, and the drought that we're in right now, all bad things leading to that potential wildfire danger. I think that's why you see more counties added for today, and that's why you see the Arkansas Forestry Commission adding more counties to what's considered high risk for that wildfire danger, along with the drought, lack of rainfall that we've seen for some time now. Here's a look at that current burn ban list. Again, all of northwest Arkansas underneath that burn ban list across the river valley. Most of us now against Sebastian County just added today. Scott County still left out of that burn ban list, and eastern Oklahoma, no burn bans either. Drought monitor, again, posted Thursday. We get that update every week, but it shows you the extreme drought that we've seen across northwest Arkansas continuing to build, and the signs that we see across the river valley. What's changed? Well, we're still not terrible right now, even though we'll need that rainfall eventually. We built up that surplus, but what we've seen is where we're not seeing the worst drought conditions happening. That hole starting to shrink just a little bit, starting to see that drought start to creep in across places where we've seen that surplus of rainfall. Again, that wildfire danger all across northwest Arkansas and the river valley. Now Scott County was just changed from that medium risk now up to that high risk today, and we'll see if we continue to see that develop, as there's little to no rain chances coming anytime soon. Again, warm temperatures coming back towards the end of the week. The next couple of days, at least through Tuesday morning, throughout Tuesday, and then into Wednesday, looks pretty comfortable outside. Those highs really only into those upper 70s, low 80s for the daytime afternoon. And once we get into the morning hours, that's where we could see some cooler mornings ahead. Once we get to Friday, Saturday, into the weekend, that's where we could see some of that heat start to sneak back in. I think those daytime highs eventually return back up into those upper 80s and low 90s by the time we get to this upcoming weekend. Here's a look at those morning temperatures. Again, at least through Thursday, really comfortable outside. Those 40s, while maybe crisp for some folks, it's going to be a little bit brisk outside. Need that light jacket. By the time we get to the end of the week into the weekend, that's when those unseasonable-like temperatures return to the forecast. Going to be seeing those morning temperatures back up into the upper 50s and low 60s across northwest Arkansas. Across the river valley, really, we're into those low 50s over the next couple of days. Need that light jacket as you head out the door, and then we return back to that above average territory by the time we get to Friday, Saturday, and into Sunday. Still, no rain chances whatsoever to talk about until we get maybe into late next week. And right now, those rain chances look very small. Once we get a little bit closer and we got to wait a while to get there, maybe we could start talking about some rain chances. But if we've seen what the Climate Prediction Center has been talking about, it's not only above average temperatures, but it's that a little amount of precipitation anytime soon right now between mid to late October. So 6 to 10 day outlook. Again, warmer temperatures still across most of the United States, definitely further out west. And then we're also seeing the development of saying Arkansas is one of the driest spots to be over the next 6 to 10 days with nothing in the way of any of those rain chances. And if we look at the extended outlook for 8 to 14 days, still showing above average temperatures. Again, we're going to see those low 90s by the time we get to this upcoming weekend. And yet again, Arkansas, one of the driest spots to be through mid to late October. But not only that, across central United States. And really, if you look at the entire map outside of Florida, who's expecting another major hurricane later on this week, dry as a bone, not expecting much in the way of any rainfall. And speaking of Florida, again, Hurricane Milton, yet another major hurricane expected to make landfall later on this week. The timing of that, you got friends, you got family out that direction, looks to be sometime very late at night, Tuesday night, or really early in the morning heading into Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning, I think, is more likely for that potential landfall. Currently, a major Category 5 hurricane producing some really strong winds. We're talking sustained winds around 175 miles per hour, wind gusts close to 200 miles per hour. Again, this is a very strong hurricane right now, still in the Gulf. It is going to affect parts of Mexico, but as it tracks up towards the north and towards the east, it's going to start to what we would deem weaken, right? From a Category 5 to 4, eventually expected to make landfall as either a Category 4 or a Category 3. But if you look at the current track, and this track hasn't really changed, of where that landfall is going to be over the past couple of days, the Tampa Bay area looks like that's going to have some of the worst spots when that landfall comes in. We're talking about the swells up to 8 to 12 feet right into that west coast of Florida. Tampa Bay has not seen a direct hit from a hurricane since 1921. And it was so long ago, was even unnamed. The good news is you got friends and family in Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina that have been affected from Hurricane Helene. The current track has Milton going through Florida and then pushing out into the ocean. Sometimes when we see systems like this, we could see it coming back, going into the ocean, then coming back into some of our East Coast states. Good news is that we're not expecting any of that. This upcoming system with Hurricane Milton coming later on this week should just be pushing further out into the Atlantic by the time we get to Thursday, Friday, and into this upcoming weekend. Still landfall into a highly populated area, Tampa Bay, and then affecting most of the state of Florida, Central Florida, definitely expecting to see some major impacts later on this week. We throw the spaghetti track up there showing you all the models of where it's going to be. Most models, and again, this has not changed over the past couple of days. Doesn't mean it can't change before we have landfall, but Tampa Bay looks like it's going to take the direct hit from that coming up Wednesday morning. Again, future rainfall for us, nothing to talk about, but if we look at the potential rainfall for Florida, again, that's going to see some significant rainfall. This map is showing you from today all the way out till the next 7 days. That's where we could start talking about 8 to 12 inches of rainfall through this upcoming week for the state of Florida. Northwest Arkansas over the next 7 days. Again, we're not expecting any rainfall whatsoever coming from the Gulf. We're just going to continue this dry stretch. Could see some extra cloud coverage start to build in later on this week. Temperature is going to be cooler over the next couple of days, especially in the morning hours. Those low to mid 40s. Might need that light jacket as you head out the door. Going to see plenty of sunshine throughout the day, though. Those daytime highs eventually warm back up into the upper 80s. By the time we get to the weekend, for that next cold front arrives, heading into early next week, it's almost a rinse and repeat for a cold front coming Sunday night into Monday. That's going to bring the cooler air back by the time it gets early next week, and those upper 70s back into the forecast Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for our next work week. Across the River Valley, temperatures in the morning going to be starting off into those low 50s. We'll see those daytime highs warm back up into the upper 80s by the time we get to Friday. This weekend, back into the low 90s. continuing this dry stretch, even with another cold front coming Sunday night into Monday. No rainfall is expected right now. So enjoy the cooler air while we have it right now, because it's going to go away this upcoming weekend, but we get it right back early next week. And by the time we have some rain chances, maybe by the time we get into late next week, Thursday, finally starting to see some signs that, hey, maybe we could get a stray shower or two back in the forecast. Of course, we are still a long ways from next Thursday. When it comes to these models, things can change. So be keeping an eye on that. Hopefully we get some rain chances back into the forecast sometime soon. From 5 News, I'm meteorologist Stephen Elmore. That's your 5+ extended forecast.